In this series, we are going to go through some of the options of how to wire some different things. A lot of people ask me questions about this while I'm out in the field, and so we're going to go through this and look at some of the options of how to set the Wiegand wireless I/O up. This time we're going to start over here with the remote side, but the same principles apply on both sides, and we'll spend some time on the controller side as well. All right, let's start with the bottom of the Wiegand remote interface, and then we'll also hit the other side. But over here we have the power, which is the red and black wire, which is wired right into there. And you can put that right into that wiring block. And all this wiring can be done ahead of time into the block and then plug in, so it makes it really convenient. So the red and black is the RN common for you to put in there. Make sure that it is 12 volt DC. Get the meter out and double check, because the only problem that we seem to have with these is that people overvoltage them and fry them. So just be very careful that it's 12 volt DC. The next orange and black is actually not used in this particular application because it's just an example, but that's for a battery backup, which can be used in a lot of situations and scenarios. The next part is the V-bus, the red and black, and we have got it powering up the Wiegand unit, which in this case is our keypad. All right, now these next four wires, the green, gray, yellow, and red, as most of you probably recognize, is for our Wiegand interface. And that's going to include your positive, or your 1 and your 0, excuse me, and then also an auxiliary for an LED, and then also power to power it through there if you're going to use a device, a Wiegand device to receive power. And that's what we've got right here. We've got a Wiegand device, which is a keypad, and it's being powered through it, as well as having an LED. And so we send in our code, it's going to send it off, and there you go. And that's tied in right here to these last four on the bottom. So, for example, if you want to use this door position sensor, it opens, you're sending that signal into the orange and common here. That's the input, and it sends it out to the other side on the output relay. And that would be connected to some type of a light or some type of an alarm that says, hey, that door was left open. So that is a relay going that way. And the same goes with it coming back this way. Let's move down here to the request to exit button. Now this would be a situation where you had it by the door because it's at the remote interface, but you could also have it near the controller or at a secretary's desk or whatever, and you're sending this also. So the request to exit button is going through the blue relay. We send it out, and it's opened the door. Okay, now this is just a quick overview of some of the things we didn't cover over there. This is on the controller interface side. You're going to see that here you're next to your controller, and you've got the RN common just like over there. Make sure it's 12 volts. And over here you'll notice that you only have two of the Wiegand cables, two of the Wiegand wires connected to output into the controller. Now this is because all you're sending over here is the 1 and the 0, and that's sending the Wiegand packet, and the controller is saying yes, that's okay, and we'll then send the command to open the door through the two relay sends, yellow and green, which we saw as outputs over there, and here are the outputs for the inputs that we saw over there that we were sending for the request to exit, as well as the door position sensor. Now, one thing that we do want to remember when connecting this controller interface is that when we want to send to the door or whatever thing we're sending to open, or the gate, we want to connect it on the controller interface to normally open and common. And then we send that into the output relay. Even if you're using a mag lock on the other side, this side can be normally open and the other side will connect into the normally closed. Because remember, there's no power going between these two, and so we can use that normally open relay to trigger it, and then we set the normally closed on the other side where the mag lock is or whatever else you want to connect to it. And you have the options of, once again, common and normally open, normally closed, common, normally open, normally closed.